lisan to al-sina. So we go from the singular to the plural. Mufrad, jama'. Likewise, we have our plural of afida. What is the mufrad of afida? Fu'ad. Same thing. That's the singular. So he's going to follow this convention. So you're going to have a broken plural and a verb that goes along with it, and a broken plural and a verb that goes along with it. Ma hiya afida. Yes, right? So he's choosing to use another word. So we have qalb and qulub, but we also have fu'ad and afida. So he's going to mention here that they are going to taqiduhu. Now, so that means the root letters in i'taqada are going to be what? Ain. What's the second root letter? And what's the third one? Dal. This is like playing Wheel of Fortune, Arabi style. So if we have Ain, Qaf, and Dal, what's a word that we probably know that has not only these three letters, but in their tartib, in their order? So we're more familiar with the word Aqidah. Now, how do we typically translate Aqidah? Fight! Round one, fight! Like, how do we typically translate? I mean, just be honest. Like, what is the common English translation for Aqidah? Creed. Okay, great. Isn't that like a really horrible rock band? Beliefs, ideologies. That's good, yeah, in a sense. But if we take this root of Ain, Qaf, and Dal, if we look it up and we want to understand the root of this. Anybody familiar with Surah Al-Falaq? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. What is an uqad? Right. And when you get married, what do you have? Uqad or aqd, right? Right. What is that? When you get married, well, yes, proverbially, but what are you doing though? You're having a contract. And when you have a contract, what happens to you in a contract, or what happens to the people in that contract? Bound. So aqada means to bind or to tie a knot. Ironically, makes you kind of wonder in English where we got the idea of tying the knot from. Like when you get married in English, we have a convention to say, oh, they're tying the knot. Knot of what? Oh, the contract, the uqd nikah, as we would say, right? The contract of getting married. So even in the word aqidah, as I said, round one, fight, right? The Sufis versus the Salafis, the Asharis versus whoever, right? So that's how, unfortunately, today we have come to understand. Or if we're a bit more educated, yes, it's creed, beliefs. But going beyond creeds and beliefs, literally, right? And this is the reason why Ibn Abi Zayd talks about Aqidah in the beginning of his book, which was, who was this book written for? Like, what kind of person did he say it was written for? Children, young Muslims, right? So he's trying to cement belief in the hearts of young Muslims. So he says here, Ta'a taqiduhu al-af'ida. What's going to be, what is happening to these hearts? When you profess belief in God, right? When you say, I believe in Allah, that Allah is one, you have now entered into a contract. What is that contract? What is one of the first things that contract, if you believe in Allah, what is one of the first things that you are bound or obligated to do? To worship Allah alone, to declare that there is no God but Him, that He has no equal, that He has no similitude, This is what you are bound to believe in. What are you also bound not to do? To associate Him with anything, to think that anything in creation resembles Him, in a sense, even that you you may not be capable of, but you have an obligation to obey Him, to not disobey Him, and on, right? So this is why these are called Aqidah. The reason why I'm walking you all through this is because it's one thing to say Aqidah. Oh, this is the Aqidah of the Salafis. This is the Aqidah of the Christians. This is the Aqidah of A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z. What do we mean by Aqidah? Because it's not the same as saying creed. It means I am bound, I am fastened to a set of beliefs that require me to either have to do a thing or believe a thing, or have to not do a thing or have to not believe a thing. That is the literal meaning of Aqidah, and that's what it means to have belief in Allah. You believe in Him, but now that belief comes along with a contract and a set of obligations that you are bound and obligated. And therefore, where is that binding going to take place? Al-Fu'ad, right? It's going to take place in the qalb. It's going to take place in the heart. As we mentioned yesterday, right? The so-called mind, which is merely an abstract term that people in modernity came up with because they don't want to deal with the heart, and they have relegated the heart to actually being purely mechanical. And it's ironic that in the Quran, the so-called mind or the brain is only referred to through mechanics. That's why Allah Ta'ala only refers to it as يَعْقِلُونَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Will you not ta'qilun? It only refers to the so-called mind in a way that says that what it is a mechanical. And what did we say the primary function of the aql is to do what? It's to restrain. To restrain what? Restrain the heart when it flips. Restrain the emotions when they get out of control. Restrain the passion. But real fiqh, real understanding, real thinking, real decision making, what you're going to believe in, what you're just going to disbelieve in, what you are obligated to do to have a sense of obligation and duty, what you are bound to, where does that reside? In the heart.